Have you ever thought about how deep people can go under the ground we live on? What is there under the earth? Is there danger waiting for us? One day, that danger really came. People started going deep inside the earth to find a solution, but what they saw down there will shock you. At the same time, the earth was about to be destroyed for a reason. What was that reason? To save the earth, these people went far underground. Today's movie is The Core. In Boston, America, April 22 was being celebrated as Green World Day, or Earth Day. On the other side, a businessman was about to sign the biggest deal of his life. But before he could even say a word, he suddenly fell on the table. Nobody could understand what happened, but he was not the only one. In the same city where Earth Day was being celebrated, many people also fell down. They could not even get up. Then the scene changed. We see a man named Josh. He is a geology professor at the University of Chicago. He was teaching his students about sound waves. Suddenly, two government officers came and stopped his class. They took him to Washington, D.C., the capital of America. There, Josh saw he was not alone. His old friend Serge was also there. Serge was an expert in high-energy weapons. Both of them could not understand why they were brought here. After a long time, Josh and Serge met again, and they joked while walking inside a big hall room. But inside, they saw something shocking. The hall was full of dead bodies. At first, they thought they entered the wrong room, but a military officer named Thomas told them, "You are in the right place." He explained that 32 people had died this morning at the same time. The strange part was none of them were sick. It happened suddenly, without warning. And soon, this news would spread across all TV channels. Josh noticed one common thing in all the bodies. Each of them had a pacemaker in their chest. A pacemaker is a small medical device. Josh understood why he and Serge were called. Someone had made an electromagnetic weapon to kill these innocent people. They were brought here to investigate this. But to build such a weapon, it would need a very strong EMP, and making that is almost impossible. What is EMP? EMP means electromagnetic pulse. It is an invisible electric magnet. An EMP is made from an explosion or strong radiation. It can stop all electronic things in 1 second. Phones, TVs, computers, car engines, hospital machines, even pacemakers. The team thinks maybe an EMP weapon was used. That weapon stopped the pacemakers and people died. After hearing this, Thomas told Josh and Serge to leave, but they wanted to study more. Thomas did not agree. This strange event did not stop in America. A few days later, in London's Trafalgar Square, people saw something shocking. Birds were flying in the sky and then suddenly fell to the ground. People ran in fear, but more and more birds kept falling. Birds hit buses, glass windows, and even people. Josh saw this news on TV. He learned the same thing happened in Australia and Japan in the past 2 months. He understood the problem was inside the Earth. It was the EMP. Birds use the Earth's magnetic field to know their direction, especially birds that travel far away. Their brains can feel the magnetic waves of the Earth. That is how they fly the right way.
The same thing also hit America's spaceship. When the ship was coming back to Earth, it suddenly changed its path. It was supposed to land in Washington, D.C., but it moved toward Los Angeles. The time was too short. If it could not land, it would crash into the city. Then, a young pilot gave an idea. Land the ship in the river. They did that. The ship was destroyed, but the people inside stayed alive. Josh started to study more. He found something very scary. The Earth's core, which always spins, was slowing down. If the core stops, the magnetic field will die. Without that, the sun's rays will hit the Earth directly. Then, Earth will be destroyed in only a few months. Let me explain. Deep inside Earth, there is a hot liquid part called the core. It spins all the time. Because it spins, a magnetic field forms around the Earth. This field protects us from the sun's dangerous rays. It is like an invisible shield. But if the core slows down, the shield gets weak. Then ultraviolet rays and solar storms will come to Earth. People, animals, plants, everything will be hurt. Skin cancer will grow. Crops will die. The weather will change. Even phones, internet, and all communication will stop. If this problem continues, Earth will become very dangerous. Life will not only be hard, but the sun's heat will make the Earth a burning planet. After learning this, Josh tells a famous geologist named Conrad. Conrad studies Earth, rocks, and minerals. At first, Conrad does not believe Josh. But after more research, he calls Thomas and says Josh was right. That night, people see a strange red light in the sky. It was a sign that the end had begun. Conrad was worried, but not only for this. He was also looking into a secret mission. Soon, Josh is taken to another meeting with government officers. Conrad and Thomas are there too. They ask Josh to explain everything. Josh says in only 3 months, Earth will go back to the Stone Age, and in 1 year, no one will survive. What is the Stone Age? It is the oldest time in human history when people only used stone tools. Why will we go back to the Stone Age? Because if the core stops, no electronic device will work. No fans, no phones, nothing. Josh also says he does not know why the core stopped. And there is no easy way to fix it. The core is made of iron and nickel. It is 9,000 degrees hot and 2,000 miles deep. Humans have only gone 7 miles down. So how can we reach 2,000 miles? Who can survive that? But then Conrad gives them an idea. He has a friend in Utah. Utah is a state in America. They go there and meet a scientist named Braz. Braz says he has built a ship. This ship uses a special wave called ultrasonic wave. It can turn anything into dust, stone, rock, metal, anything. With this wave, they can cut through Earth's hard layers and reach the core. The ship also has a special metal that can survive the heat. The name of this metal is unobtainium. This ship can take extra heat and pressure. Not only that, the deeper it goes into Earth, the stronger it becomes. That means this ship is the only way to save the world. But the ship is not fully ready yet. To finish it, they need almost 10 years. By that time, people will not survive. So what will happen now? Thomas tells them, finish it in 3 months no matter what. I will pay all the money needed. From that day, the US government starts working fast. They decide the ship will be named Virgil. Yes, Virgil. For this mission, Thomas brings 2 NASA pilots. One is Rebecca, who once saved a spaceship from crashing. The other is Commander Iverson. They will drive Virgil. But Rebecca and Iverson are not alone. With them are Braz, Josh, Serge, and Conrad. The whole mission will be led by George because he was the first to understand why strange things were happening on Earth. They also bring a hacker to hide the news from the media and the internet. His name is Rat. A press meeting is held. Josh tells everyone that in 3 months, Virgil will be ready. Then the ship will go deep into Earth. There, 5 nuclear bombs of 200 megatons each will be set off. This will make the core spin again, and Earth will be safe. Virgil has 6 parts like a train. First is the engine. Second is the navigation room. Third is the living room, where people stay. Fourth is the engine room. Fifth is the place for the engine bearing. Sixth is the bomb room, where the nuclear bombs will be kept. At the end, there is a module for weapons. If any part of the ship is damaged, that part will break off by itself to save the rest.
At last, Virgil is built, but when they test it, the result is 0. They fail 22 times. Then, a new disaster happens on Earth. In Rome, sudden lightning strikes destroy many buildings and roads. Seeing this, Josh understands they must start the mission fast. The very next day, Virgil leaves through the Mariana Trench, the deepest place in the sea, to go to the core. Josh and his team begin a mission that no one ever dreamed of. At first, Virgil moves smoothly toward the core, but then an earthquake starts under the sea. Iverson loses control of the ship. Still, they push forward and move even faster. Soon, with the help of lasers, they cut through Earth's surface. Then, they enter the molten rock layer, the mantle. After 12 hours inside the mantle, they see something strange. What is it? They find an empty space inside Earth's mantle, a hollow place. Virgil cannot work here because the ship was not made for this kind of area. At the same time, another danger comes. Virgil loses control and crashes on sharp crystals. But luckily, no one inside is hurt. Still, their laser gets stuck inside a giant crystal, so they cannot move forward. Braz says the only way to go forward is to cut the crystal from outside. But how can they go out? There is only one way, through the ship's impeller. What is an impeller? It is a machine part, like a spinning fan wheel, that moves liquid or gas. After cooling the impeller, they put on a special suit and go out. This suit can take extreme heat. When they step outside, they see a whole new world, a giant geode. What is a geode? It is a rock that looks solid from outside, but inside it has amazing crystals. The place is very beautiful, but they don't have much time to enjoy it. They focus on the job. Iverson starts cutting the crystal. Suddenly, lava rain begins. Crystal pieces fall on them. They remove the stuck crystal and return to the ship, but Iverson cannot make it back. A crystal falls on him and he falls into the burning lava. To save the Earth, Iverson gives his life. They have no time to mourn. Breaking through the lava, the ship keeps moving forward. On the second day, Virgil reaches near the outer core, but while crossing a layer of diamonds, a giant diamond smashes one part of the ship. That part was holding the nuclear bomb timers. The broken section starts to separate from Virgil. Without thinking, Serge rushes into the section. He finds the bomb timers and gives them to George. But in doing so, Serge disconnects himself from the ship. He sacrifices his life. Braz and Josh try hard to save him, but fail. The heat of lava melts him away. 35 hours pass. Finally, they enter the outer core, but what they find shocks them. The density of the core is far lower than they thought. Even if they explode more than 1,000 megatons of nuclear bombs here, it will not restart the core. Nothing will change. Seeing this, the team loses hope. Conrad understands they have no way left to bring the Earth back to normal. He told Thomas that if this mission fails, they must go to Plan B. That secret plan's name was Project Destiny. What was Plan B? Plan B was a secret project. Only Thomas and Conrad knew it. This was Conrad's secret plan. Conrad told the team that this device could make an earthquake anywhere on Earth. Thomas thought this device would help if an enemy attacked the US. He had Conrad build Project Destiny to protect the country. Later, they found out the sudden stop of the core began when they tested Destiny. The test started the world's trouble. Conrad said they could fire Destiny again. That would make earthquakes and might make the core spin again. But Josh could not accept that. He said firing Destiny again could break the Earth into pieces. Thomas told them to return to the surface, but George said no. Even if they die, they would not go back. They would do Plan C at the core. They wanted one last try. Rebecca and Braz supported this. Conrad got angry. Meanwhile, another danger hit San Francisco. The sun burned the city. Roads and buildings were on fire. People were dying. Seeing this, Thomas pushed hard to fire Destiny now. He told Rat to find and stop Project Destiny. Rat is a hacker. He found Destiny's site in Alaska and used his hacks to stop it. After that, Conrad said they had one more way. They would split the bombs and time their blasts so the core would start to turn again. To do this, they must put the 5 nuclear bombs into 2 separate sections of the ship. Then they would release each section at the right time. The button to separate each section was in the ship's impeller. The impeller was at 9,000 degrees. They had no nitrogen left to cool it. That meant one person had to die to go into the impeller and press the button. Braz said he would do it. The ship belonged to him, so he chose to give his life. Braz went into the hot impeller. His suit and shoes began to melt. Under huge heat and pressure, he kept going and pressed the button. He died there. He saved the mission. Josh and Conrad put the bomb sections into 2 parts. They began the timed blasts, but soon they saw they needed even bigger blasts to move the core. For that, they needed a lot more plutonium. Where would they get plutonium? Before they could find an answer, Virgil hit a giant energy wave. Rebecca only had 75 seconds to release the chamber, but Josh and Conrad were still inside. Josh escaped, but Conrad could not. He was trapped. Before dying, Conrad told George that to make a stronger blast, they must use all of Virgil's nuclear power. Josh followed his words. He used the ship's full power to make the last blast. It worked. A ripple effect formed around the core, and the Earth's core started spinning again. After so many sacrifices, the mission was a success. But Virgil had no power to return. That meant Rebecca and George could never go back to the surface. They waited for death.
At that moment, Josh got an idea. He remembered Virgil was built like a giant solar panel with unobtainium metal. He thought they could use it to make new energy. They tried, and it worked. After 16 hours, the ship floated up to the bottom of the ocean, but the cold water trapped them, and their link with the US was gone. Still, they did not give up. They used the ultrasonic wave generator in the ship to send a low-frequency signal. Humans could not hear it, but whales could. At the surface, Rat noticed the whales moving strangely. He understood Josh and Rebecca were alive below. The rescue team followed the whales and finally found the ship. Rat and the US team saved them. 1 week later, Rat told the whole world the truth. He shared how the Virgil team saved Earth from sure death. He also exposed the secret of Project Destiny. The world saw Josh, Rebecca, Iverson, Conrad, and Serge as real heroes. And here the movie ends. So friends, this was today's video. Tell me in the comments how you liked it. If you enjoyed it, give a like and share it with friends. See you in the next video.